guys, it's me, Dylan. Welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we're going to be going through every book I read this summer. It's still summer for me. I haven't gone to school yet. I'm still free for another week. I know so many people have already started. They start in August. They start really, really early. Not for me. I start the day after Labor Day. We have a lot of books. I mean, not a lot. Again, summer's not over for me. But it's done for a lot of people, so we're going to be going through my June, July, and August reads. I think I read 14 books this summer, and since my summer's not over yet, I'm still going to be finishing like 3 more before school starts, I'm assuming. I'm not going to be talking about the ones I'm currently reading or the ones that I will be finishing soon. I have them here in order, so let's just dive into it. I have all of my thoughts written down here on my computer. Let's just get started. I have a lot to go through and a lot of thoughts, and I read some really good reads this summer, so get ready. The first book that I ended up starting and finishing this summer, actually I think I started it in the school year and I finished it this summer, so I'm gonna just count it. That is The Doll People by Anne M. Martin and Laura Godwin. It says the pictures here are by Brian Selznick. It wasn't the best. I think I rated it a 3 out of 5 stars. Yeah, this book was a reread for me. Not the best reread I've ever reread. Yeah. And like, looking at it now, this book was very, very slow at a lot of times. I felt like nothing was going on. It's just about dolls. And there was like nothing going on at a lot of the points in the books, and I just felt really tired of reading it, and I was really happy when I finished it, not because it was a good book, but because I wanted to be done with it. I'm not like a huge fan of middle grade, which this is a middle grade, even though it's kind of like chunky for middle. But you know, I read this back in like 4th grade, and my opinion on this now is if you want to pick this up, make sure you pick it up as soon as possible or in your younger years, because it's definitely, I don't know, for me it just definitely does not hit the same. You know, I'm older and it's just like, why am I reading a book about dolls that come awake at night, you know, like why? So like I said before, I have the 2 other books in the Doll People series, and those are The Meanest Doll in the World and The Runaway Dolls. There's another one I'm pretty sure called The Doll People Set Sail that I've also read, and I don't think I'm really ever going to continue on with this, so I'm probably either going to get rid of these or give them to my future children. This book here follows Annabelle and her family. So Annabelle's auntie Sarah went missing 45 years prior to like current day. One day out of nowhere, Annabelle discovers her aunt's diary. And when Annabelle tells her family that she wants to try and find her Auntie Sarah, they really discourage her. But one day, the Funcrafts move into the house. So once the Funcrafts move into the house, Annabelle and her new friend Tiffany discover more information leading to the disappearance of Auntie Sarah. There's a few struggles along the way. If Annabelle ever got seen moving, she would go into doll state, which is where you like stay as like a permanent doll. You can't move, you can't talk for 24 hours. And if you really get into a bad luck with a human, then you go into permanent doll state, and then you're a permanent doll forever and you can't move, you can't speak. Those are some of the challenges along the way. As well as there's a cat in the house, and don't want to mess with the cat. I'm pretty sure his name is the Captain, so you don't want to mess with him. He's a cat, you know, you're a doll, don't do that. So yeah, I found this book to be very slow at some points in the plot, and although the concept is cool, I just don't think I'm going to continue on with the series at all. Yeah, if you are looking for a fun middle grade to pick up, maybe this is the one for you. Again, 3 out of 5 stars. Definitely not the best read of the summer. I would say this is probably, oh, never mind. I was going to say the worst, but there's a worser one. There's a worser one. The next book I ended up reading this summer was With the Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo. The cover is soft, and the inside, why? I pretty much bought this because of how hyped it was on BookTube, and also because of the cover, because it's beautiful. The cover is beautiful. I don't know if you knew that, but the cover is beautiful. But anyway, I really like this book. I'm sorry, I'm reading off my computer. I don't remember all of my thoughts on this. I really ended up liking this book. I think I rated it 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. I listened to the entirety of this book, or pretty much. I think I read like a chapter or two by myself, but the rest of it I listened to on audio, and Elizabeth Acevedo herself actually narrates the story, and it's really nice for her to narrate it because then she knows kind of how the emotion should feel. She really does a good job with the audio, or the narrating, I'm sorry. And I don't know if this is a spoiler, but Malachi, he was really nice. I really liked Malachi in the story. Also, when I was reading the story by myself, this is like the first few chapters into the book, I literally thought his name was... So Malachi, I will spell it out on the screen. I literally was reading this by myself for the first couple of chapters, and I thought his name was Malachi. I feel so bad. Malachi? I called him Malachi the whole time. And then when I listened to the audio, it was Malachi. I was like, oh my god, I'm so stupid. And like now when I'm talking about the book or thinking about it or I'm telling somebody about it, I almost call him Malachi. I can't get over that. I don't know why I didn't realize his name was Malachi and not Malachi. So I'm sorry for that. If you are as dumb as I am, definitely go for audio with this. I also really like the food element of the story and how kind Imani was. Imani is the main character, by the way. I'm sorry. I really loved how kind she was to her child, and it was just so sweet. I wouldn't say this is really plot driven. It's more character driven. I really liked Imani as a character. She's very, very outgoing, I guess you could say, and she's very, very determined. And I really like that about her because that is definitely something I am not. She's always determined, which is really cool to see in a character. I really like that. And she's just really focused on hitting the mark and making sure she does everything perfectly. And I'm not really a perfectionist, but you know, I really liked reading that. There's not a lot going on, so if you're looking for a more wholesome, family-driven book, I guess you could say, this is a really nice one to pick up. Also, food. I'm really hungry, so this is not helping me to talk about food. There's actually recipes in this book, too, which is cool, but if I tried the recipes, I'd burn down the house. Every time I cook something, somebody ends up sick. Somebody gags it up. Eva, I'm looking at you. If you see this video, that was rude. My food is delicious. But I got myself sick one time. The next 2 books that I read is The One and Only Ivan and The One and Only Bob by Katherine Applegate. I have the other book she wrote, which is Home of the Brave. It also takes place in Minnesota, which is where I live, so that was really nice. I liked that a lot. Like, this used to be my sister's book, and then I had it on my shelves, and then I took it off of my shelves because I didn't think I wanted it on my shelves, and then it sat in the basement. And then I went out there, and I was like, you know what, I kind of want to read this. So I read it, and it's very easy. It's a middle grade again. There's not that many words on each page, so it was really fast and quick. I felt like there wasn't a whole lot of plot in this book. I feel like I got bored really quickly. And this was another reread for me. I read it like a long time ago for class. It wasn't super interesting, but there is a Disney movie out now. I'm pretty sure it's streaming, and I want to see that as well. I want to see how the movie puts it. And the narrator I didn't like for this one. I listened to a bit of it on audio, but other than that, I read it by myself, and the narrator for it was like, his voice was like, like this. His voice was so low, and I really didn't like it. Ivan, the main character, is like very sweet-hearted and cares about how everyone feels, and he's so sweet. And when he got upset, I really didn't like it because I felt like this is not the gorilla I know. This is not the Ivan I know. This is about Ivan, an easygoing silverback gorilla. And he lives in the Exit 8 Big Top Mall and Video Arcade. Yes, I got it right. It's a very long mall arcade title. Ivan lives alongside his best friends, one being Ella, an old elephant, and the other being Bob, a really cute stray dog. Ivan doesn't really miss his life in the jungle. He watches TV all day, he paints all day, he just does not miss being in the jungle because he doesn't remember a whole lot of it. So one day, a shy little elephant, baby elephant named Ruby comes to the Exit 8 Big Top Mall and Video Arcade, and she's now permanently living there, and she really misses her life in the jungle. As Ivan really gets to learn and know Ruby, he realizes that there needs to be a change at the Exit 8 Big Top Mall and Video Arcade, and that's all I gotta say. That's all I wrote down. Not super interesting, but if you, again, middle grade, if you're looking for a good one and you want to see the movie, maybe pick up the book first. If you like it better, that's great, you know? Next is The One and Only Bob by Katherine Applegate. I love this one so much more. So this is actually a signed first edition. I don't know what first edition means. Like, what does that mean? But it's signed by Katherine Applegate herself, which is really cool. And this was actually at Walmart, so if it's like a reprinted one, that's okay. I actually tabbed this one because there were some good parts in it. This one was so much more action-packed and so much more fun. This follows Bob, the stray dog, from The One and Only Ivan. I listened to the whole thing on audio, and this is narrated by Danny DeVito, so that was really nice. I really, really liked that. I feel like Bob is just the perfect dog for Danny DeVito's voice, you know? He's very sarcastic and just really dry. I will admit I cried once. I was really scared, and I was just really into the book. I really did cry, so that kind of boosted up a little more than The One and Only Ivan, because I didn't cry in that book at all. I was really bored. But this one I really, really enjoyed. I think I rated this one a 4 out of 5 stars, which I kind of was surprised by because I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did. The next book I ended up reading this summer is Fake It Till You Break It by Jen P. Nguyen. Again, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing Jen P. Nguyen. I think I'm pronouncing that right. I'm sorry if I'm not. I got this in a book outlet package about a half a year ago, and it's like it's been really damaged, and I ordered a brand new copy of it, so I'm kind of like, why is it damaged? But the inside wasn't damaged. I rated this a 5 out of 5 stars because that's how much I really liked this contemporary. It's pretty short. If you're looking for a fun, kind of fluffy contemporary, this is a good one to pick up. I tabbed this one up again. I tabbed it up really good towards the end. The reason there's like this blank line is because I wasn't planning on tabbing it up until I was like, wait, there's some good parts in here. Let me just tab it up quick. Again, I gave this 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. Really, really good. Looking at it now, I think I would give it more like 4 or 4.5 because I think I was just really in the moment of loving it. But it wasn't like everything, but it was just really enjoyable. I really liked it. So this has like 2 romance tropes. There might be more, but 2 main ones, which is haters to lovers and fake dating. Those are both the tropes that really stuck out in this book. I feel like family was kind of focused on a good amount in this book, so it was fun to read about the family. And there was like a lot of humor in it too, so I really liked that. I love a humorous book. I just could not put this down. I stayed up for like 5 hours sitting in my reading chair right over here, and I could not stop reading, and I was just having a blast reading this book. There were so many enjoyable parts. I marked like every other page. It was so good. I do think they kind of went haters to lovers like really quickly. But I didn't mind that because I was like, come on already, come on. I just had a really enjoyable time reading this. If you're looking for a fun, fluffy romance read, YA contemporary romance read, this is a really good one to pick up. There are some struggles with Jake's brother, but that's okay. So we follow 2 main characters and 2 different perspectives, one being Mia and one being Jake, and I liked both of those characters very, very much. Mia's mom and Jake's mom they're neighbors. Mia's mom and Jake's mom just really want them to be together as a couple, and they're not feeling it. So one day they just had enough of all of the cute talk from their moms, so they decide to start fake dating and have a plan that they're going to have this really catastrophic breakup that'll make their moms stop bothering them about it. And you already know where that's gonna go. This was really, really cute, and I really am so happy I picked it up. I'm pretty sure, I don't even know why I picked it up. I was just like, yeah, sure, I'll pick this one up. But yeah, I really enjoyed this, and I really recommend it to anyone who's just really into romance as much as I am. There's not like steamy scenes, or there's not a lot of like that. I don't think I remember it being like that, but it's just really cute, and I didn't find it cheesy at all. I found it just really adorable and fun. So if you're looking for a cute one, this is a great one to pick up. There is some family drama going on a little bit, so keep that in mind if you're not into that kind of thing. So yeah, but other than that, I was really excited about it. I couldn't put it down. I just loved every second of this book. We have another 5 out of 5 star reads right here. It is Before the Sword by Grace Lynn, also by Disney, but this, first of all, I love this cover. I don't know why, but I do. This I also tabbed up, not as much as the last one, but there was a lot of enjoyable parts in this book. I loved every second. Again, another one I did not want to put down. So much going on in a good way. There was so much action, and I really liked it, and it was really good. This follows Mulan before she has to go off to war dressed as Ping, you know, before the original story we all know and love. So Mulan's sister Zhu gets bitten by the 9-legged spider and goes into a really deep, bad illness and is bedridden for 1 moon. Mulan has to go on a journey to find the medicine to save her sister before the moon is over. So she has 1 moon to find the medicine and save her sister. And she has a few sidekicks along the way. She has her horse. I forget the horse's name, I'm sorry. She has her horse and the bunny / the healer. And the bunny, the healer, whatever you want to call him, so funny. I loved him. He was so he was like really dry and sarcastic and just really cute and adorable. And the white fox was a huge part of the story, and it just like all falls into place. It was amazing, and I would definitely reread it again. I think this is YA. I picked it up because I was just like, the cover's kind of cool, and you know, like I kind of want more Mulan books. I read it for the reading rush. I'm so happy I read it. I'm really happy. 5 out of 5 stars. Amazing. It was so good, and I'm definitely going to see if there's any other great books out there that Grace Lynn has let out. The next book I read was not a 5 out of 5 stars, more like a 3.5. I rated it a 4 out of 5 stars, but I'm thinking now maybe 3 or 3.5 out of 5 stars. But that is Swing by Kwame Alexander with Mary Rand Hess. I like this one quite a bit. I will say very, very sad at the end. It really, it was not the best ending, in my opinion. It was sad. And also, if you're thinking this one's a kind of a chunker, I don't know if I want to pick it up. It is written in verse, so it didn't take me too long. I read it half on audio, half by myself because I was riding my bike, and I was like, it's also another reading rush one that I kind of did for the reading rush, so I listened to it on audio outside while I was riding my bike. This book wasn't my favorite by him. I have so many other great books by Kwame Alexander. My favorite by him is definitely The Crossover, which I read back in like 3rd or 4th grade. I'm not really going to explain what the synopsis of this is. I think it's definitely one to just go right into. I'm sure most people will enjoy it. I really enjoyed it, so that's nice. But I will say, Sam, like, the choices she made, she was so mean. Oh my gosh, I did not like her. She acted like she had the right to do some of the things she did to Noah, which is the main character. So I just really don't like her for that, and I really feel bad for Noah. Also, I cried at the end because it's sad. And like the last freaking, it was really sad. So again, I think, actually, you know, I'm going to stick to the 4 out of 5 stars because I did cry. I remember that now. I really did cry to this book, and it was just really touching and sad. And just, other than Sam, she's so annoying. I don't like her. Other than her, this book was fantastic, and I really, really liked it. The next book I read this summer was The Shadows by Alex North. Again, 5 out of 5 stars. What an amazing book this was. This takes place in the town of Gritton. This is about a murder that happened in the town of Gritton about 25 years ago, I'm pretty sure. And this was a very brutal murder. Charlie Crabtree committed a terrible murder, and he was never seen again. And then years later, current day, there is a copycat murder that this detective is following and trying to solve. So we follow that detective, we follow her, and then we also follow Paul, which is the main character. We follow current day Paul as well as Paul the kid. Paul the kid. We follow Paul as a child as well, or as a kid. So like maybe 15 years old. 25 years after the murder, Paul has to return back to Gritton, the town he escaped from because of everything that went down there with Charlie Crabtree. He has to come back because his mother has fallen down the stairs and is going to pass away soon. So he has to come back and say his goodbyes, and while he is in the town of Gritton, he stays in his childhood home, and then these weird, almost paranormal, strange coincidences start happening. And it really makes you think, is Charlie Crabtree out in the shadows? Is Charlie Crabtree dead? Is his spirit haunting me? Is Charlie Crabtree still alive? It really makes you question what has gone down in Gritton and what is happening currently. It's just so freaky and spooky, and considering I read this before bed, I would just really freak out, because one day my hair was like falling over here, and I saw it like move, and I was like, what the frick? And I was like, it's just my hair. It was just my hair. And another time I was reading this, I was at a scary part, which was a lot of the time actually. I was at a scary part, and my grandma sneezes so loud and it really got me. It scared me. This book was amazing. I never got bored of the plot. There was never really anything info dumpy in this book. It was fantastic. I will say there are a few triggers. There's triggers to, a little bit of triggers to suicide, as well as if you get really triggered to gory things, maybe this isn't the book for you. This was like my first ever really scary book that I've ever read. Other than this, The Haunting of Sunshine Girl trilogy, this is the first book that I've really read that's really spooked me out. I loved it. It was so good. And at the end, all this information hits you. You think you know what's going on. You think you know what's going to happen. And then the story just twists and you're like, what the frick just happened? What just happened? Just please pick this up if you are my age and you're starting thriller or horror. This is the first ever horror/thriller book that I have ever read, and I fell in love with it. So I recommend it to anyone if you're starting thriller/horror. I'm pretty sure it's a thriller. If you're starting thriller, I don't even care. Just please pick it up. It's so good. And I will say the last sentence in the book I didn't understand, and then I went back and read it again. It gave me the freaking chills. It's spooky. It scared me. I don't know why I didn't see it before. It's just really scary, and it really makes you question, am I alone? It makes you feel as though you are violated. It makes you feel like there is someone else in your house. It makes you feel that kind of feeling where you feel like you're not alone. It deals with lucid dreaming, which is really cool as well. The next book I ended up finishing this summer was Quack Quack. Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo. Again, beautiful cover, and the undercover is also very shiny and beautiful. But this follows two sisters who live on different sides of the world, I guess you could say. And one being Yahaira and the other being Camino. They share the same father, and they really don't know that they're sisters. And one day their father sadly dies in a plane crash that happened shortly after 9/11. That just really wasn't focused on because of the tragedy of 9/11. So they're dealing with the grief of losing their father, and it kind of leads them to each other. And it's very heartfelt. I was in a noisy room and a car with my family, so I was kind of getting distracted very, very easily, which is why I rated it 3 out of 5 stars. I wasn't in love with it, and I marked it up quite a bit though. Green is for Camino and pink is for Yahaira because the backgrounds of where they live are the colors. So yeah, it wasn't the best, but I really did enjoy it, and I'm definitely going to pick it up in the future, hoping that I enjoy it more than I did the first time. So yeah, this book is very good. If you're looking for another Elizabeth Acevedo book, this one is fairly new, and it's just really, really good. The next book I ended up reading is Pumpkinheads by Rainbow Rowell and Faith Erin Hicks. This is a graphic novel, and it is the only graphic novel I think that I've read this summer. I rated this a 4 out of 5 stars. This happens in the month of like October. It's like fall time. I really wish I saved this for October. I wasn't thinking straight, I guess. So we follow the two main characters, Josiah and Deja, and they work together at this pumpkin patch every year. And this is their last year that they're going to spend together. October is really the only time they get to see each other because they work at the pumpkin patch. And it's their last year together because they have to go off to like college. So they want to make this year the best one yet. So what Deja decides to do is get Josiah to meet his crush that he's had a crush on ever since he started working at the pumpkin patch. It's just really cute and fluffy and just adorable. And it's really nice too. I just really liked it, and it's such a cute one. The next one is my least favorite book of the summer. We're not going to talk about it a whole lot because that is the SpongeBob Sponge on the Run book. And this is the junior novelization. I wanted to read this book because the movie, I think, is coming out or is out, and I really want to see it. So this book I rated a 1 out of 5 stars. It was really, really slow and boring, and there was so much stuff going on that I just didn't like. So yeah, it just doesn't deserve a lot of recognition. The next book I have here is Cinderellas Dead by Kaylin Bayron. 5 out of 5 stars, again, actually 4.5. This follows Sophia, the main character, and every year all the teenage girls have to attend an annual ball that will lead them to their husband. And Sophia doesn't want a prince. She actually is in love with her childhood best friend, Erin. And so she wants to run away with her. Erin, her best friend, doesn't want to run away with her. She wants to follow the rules and not risk everything. So Sophia runs away and actually runs into a really good character named Constance. And the story goes on. There's so many plot twists and turns, and I really loved it. The only reason I rated it a 4.5 out of 5 stars is because the last chapter, the ending was very good, but the last chapter really just didn't hit the mark for me, so it kind of ducked it down half a point. So yeah, but other than that, this book is amazing. I recommend it to anyone who's looking for a dark fantasy. So good. I loved it. The next book I ended up finishing is From Twinkle with Love by Zendaya Menon. And we marked this one up quite a bit as well. And this book is, I think, a 2 out of 5 stars for me. It wasn't very good. I think the concept is kind of like plain and bland. I didn't really like it. I found Twinkle to be a very unlikable character, and it just wasn't the best. So I rated it a 2 out of 5 stars. The only part I really saved me from that was Sahil, who one day she runs into him in a coffee shop and he wants to make a movie with her. So she says yes, only because his twin brother is her crush. So she, like, does not shut up about being a groundling and how she's so lame and a loser and how everyone else has silk feathered hats. It's really annoying. Every other page she was reminding me, I'm a groundling, maybe I'll get off the groundling status or whatever. So it just, I found her to be very, very annoying and just not a likable character. So it was okay. I might honestly get rid of it. Just not my best read for the summer. The next book and final book I ended up finishing is The Nest by Kenneth Opel. And this, I don't even know. The synopsis, like, literally tells you nothing. So I think this is a great one to go into blindly. I'm not going to say too much, but it was very, very weird and kind of disturbing. So yeah, that's the last book I read. Again, a great one to go into blindly. I'm sorry I rushed through those last 3 books. And I'm sorry you hear my dog. She was being very bad, so she's in the kennel. Thank you for watching today's video. I hope you guys like it. And if you do, please like, subscribe, and comment if you want to. Any recommendations you have, or if you've read any of these and your opinions on them. Thank you for watching today's video, and I will see you next week on my channel. Bye! Bye!